On live.
Yep, there's notification. The notification.
Hey, oh, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to our 30th episode in our fourth year. It's like we figure this thing out like every time before the show. It's ridiculous. But anyways, welcome to our 30th episode. We are bringing to you Mind and Money Matters, presenting from the Ministry of Trade and Commerce and the business of Master the Science of Business, which was formed out of the thought coming to us from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and message to the black man, which states that in the original charter of Howard University, we are not to ever be taught the science of warfare, which the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us is business, and the science of birth control, which includes the science of mating. So there is no wonder why we have deficits in these areas. And you will hear us say the science of mating, the science of business, and the science of warfare. That is what we are in deficit of, and we provide this platform to bring from business owners who are actually in the practice of doing business, learning the science of business in action. And then they can give to us what they have experienced, what they have found to be true or false, what they find to work or not work. And then we can jot that down and say, okay, this perhaps is a scientific answer. And when we put it to the test, we can also report this works, so this doesn't work. So I'm looking forward to hearing the hypothesis today, the results of studies that have been taken in a scientific manner as it relates to business. I'm looking forward to hearing all about it, taking notes in my luxurious notebook over here so that I can put them into practice and bring back to you how it has worked for me. It's all good. So we're going to bring to you our dear brother Jahi, Mr. Communicator Muhammad. He is one of the co-hosts along with myself and Sister Sandy. He is the founder and CEO of Fallout Worldwide Seminars and Training and Proper Propaganda Promotions. He is our very own logo file, so named by Sister Sandy Beauford Muhammad. They like naming each other. They have these he got this long name for her. that we have to ask him to spell it so we can enhance our vocabulary. But anyways, he is our logo file. He is that personnel organizer, fact finder. He doesn't like to be referred to as a historian because he knows some real legit historians.
That's
However,
right.
it's not
Right.
that much that he does not know. So, anyways, let's bring on the air, Brother Jahi, Mr. Communicator Muhammad.
Salam alaikum, business scientists. Welcome back to another broadcast of the definitive podcast for Black business bodaciousness. Mind and Money Matters live show. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you let somebody know. We have the opportunity to bring on some of the most brilliant people among us who are doing a variety of things. And one of our goals is to highlight them, to showcase, to promote, to promulgate, to let the world know about this brilliance that are among us, and we need your help in doing it. So if you're watching the broadcast, just hit a share button or let somebody else know about it. Share the number with them. Share the broadcast with them. Share the YouTube channel. Share the Facebook page. YouTube channel is the name of the show, Mind and Money Matters Live Show, and the YouTube channel is at Mind Money, at My Money Show. I'm sorry, that's the Facebook. Facebook is at My Money Show, or Master the Science of Business. Either one of those, you'll get to us. Let somebody else know about this dynamic information that is being shared. So we're kicking off the month of August. This is the first show of the month of August, and we're celebrating and highlighting the ministry of science and technology and how appropriate with a lot of the things that are going on. But before we get into that, you know how we do it. The final call, y'all, the final call newspaper. Make sure you get your latest copy. Make sure you subscribe. You can go to finalcalldigital.com. That way you never have to miss an issue. It'll come straight to your phone, to your electronic device, your scientific device. If you would like the physical copy, you can, if you're in the Atlanta area, you can go to Muhammad Mosque number 15, the Southern Regional Headquarters of the Nation of Islam, under the direction, under the divine guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, 3642 Camilton Road, and you can pick up your copies there. Or if you see the plethora of brothers, FOI, and sisters, MGT, that work with you, go to school with you, that live next door to you, that work at the restaurant that you like to frequent, that work out at the club that you, the health club that you like to go to. Everywhere you are, we are there as well. And you can always get your latest issue of the final call from any of the FOI and the MGT that you know that's in your life. You want to keep up with the latest information and not the watered down, adulterated information that's coming from the mainstream media that having you thinking one way when actual information is something totally different. You will get that in this award-winning paper, the Final Call newspaper. Also, this is the first week of the month. You know what that means? Economicblueprint.org. Economicblueprint.org. 5 cents a day for your and my liberation. 5 cents a day. America is under great and tumultuous turmoil with the land. Now is the time for us to pool out 5 cents a day so that we can begin to get some of this land from these people because they're ready to sell. You know, most of Mississippi is underwater. A whole chunk of Mississippi is underwater, but that land is fertile. And when the righteous get a hold of it, then the Creator will allow us to do what's right with it. He's setting it up for us. So we just need to pool our resources. 16 million of us do that on a yearly basis. That's $291,200,000 per year. And we can buy land, and other resources that we need for your and my liberation. And Sister Sharien, Sister Sandy, I have a bit of bad news for all of our business scientists that are listening. We'll find the financial tip. You know, if you were waiting on that $125 from Equifax, there is a 0.9998% chance that you ain't gonna get a dime. If anybody out there are cybersecurity experts, please call us at the office, 404-438-3156, 404-438-3156. I would like a cyber security expert to come on to Mind and Money Matters live show and give us some insight. You know, over the last few years and especially the last few months, every week there is a security breach. All of our information has been jacked. Your information is going to get jacked. Okay, that's just fact of life. Fact of life. Equifax came out with last year. They said 140 million Americans. Hell, that's everybody with a Social Security number. Information was compromised. Then they had a settlement. Brothers and sisters, they had a $700 million settlement. I guess it was with the government. Now they sent the information about you qualify for $125, which is in their terms equal to 10 years worth of free credit reporting from free credit monitoring from Equifax. However, of that $700 million that the fine that they had to pay, only $31 million was allocated toward the physical money, which comes out to about $125 per person. Some people will get more than that. Some people will get less. The max out at $20,000. But the percentage-wise, that only leaves about out of the 140 million people whose Social Security numbers were compromised. Number one, not everybody will qualify. I did the little thing. I put in my last 6 digits. They're like, man, get out of here. So right off the rip, right off the rip, right. And but if you take the 31 million, it only about 200, and if you divide that by $125, that leaves you about 240,000 people that will actually get any money. The rest of y'all gonna have to settle for the 10 years worth of free credit monitoring. So if you were counting on that buck and a quarter to help pay on a bill, or something like that, to take your wife or your family out to dinner, you can more than likely forget about that. But I want a cybersecurity person, and there was a recent one too last week. That was Capital One. Capital One was breached. Over 100 million people were information was compromised, and it was so interesting because how they're stylizing it. I just read this article in the Wall Street Journal, today's issue of the Wall Street Journal, but I've been keeping up with it. And the person, the lady who did the breach, she wasn't even like high ranking. She was lower middle level security personnel at Capital One, and she saw an opening and she took advantage of it. So, cybersecurity expert, if you're watching this, you know somebody, you are somebody, you know somebody, I have them give us a call, 404-38-3156.
Did you see the text from Sister Anissa?
I haven't. No, I can't see it. No, what's going on?
Okay.
I know you.
Sister Ebony of Hurt to Healing has recently launched her cybersecurity services. So go to
fantastic.
Hurt to Healing.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. I can't pull up messages. I hear the plethora of messages coming through, but only able to do one thing at a time. So I'll relinquish this to our ergokinesiologist so she can move some energies around and do her thing from Soul Wisdom International and Your Life Center, Sister Sandy Beauford Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Praise be to the living God. That's how we're going to start out today, y'all. I'm telling you, Brother Jahi has brought us some phenomenal information about cybersecurity and what's happening in the we've talked on that subject a lot about there are so many areas of security. It's not just bodily security, which you think about security guards or Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. All of that is a form of security. Even in the Nation of Islam, we have a military type structure. Security is that stuff that you can't even see. What I'm always talking to us about. The energy of movement that you cannot see. How in the world can somebody attack that? Well, guess what? It has officially been done, and it has been done for many years, and people get paid for protecting that stuff that you can't see. You can't see your credit. Isn't that something? You cannot see it. But Lordy, when something happens with it, everybody's in an uproar. So make sure you're keeping an eye on your own credit. Just make sure, just keep an eye on it. Once a month, tap in, check in to see, what your credit look like, and see if anybody's using it. I'm getting a little feedback. So make sure that you do that. Make sure that you do that. I am your sister, Sandy Beauford Muhammad of Soul Wisdom International. I am so excited to be here with you talking today. So, Brother Jahi, I'm going to do a little bit on something that he shared with us earlier today. And it had to do with the 15 habits of successful people. 15 habits of successful people. And that was put out, first, 15 habits of rich and successful people. Because you got to have that money piece in there as well. He shared that with us. And Sister Sharien definitely wanted us to talk about this a little bit today. And I am so excited about talking about this. And I want to open up the conversation as soon as she come in. Maybe we'll have a chance to talk about it a little bit more in depth with it, do a little round table discussion about it. And it's talking about what the successful and rich people do. And one of the things is they wake up every morning. This is what it said. They wake up every morning at the same time. It's not predictable, or I'm gonna wake up at a certain time if I feel like it. If I didn't stay up too late, they wake up at a certain time every morning, even if they go to bed around about 11 or 12 o'clock, which is the average time that an entrepreneur rests at night. And they are usually working, not partying. They are brainstorming, strategizing for the next week, the next month, the next year, and lifelong. So they set goals on a very routine basis. They also get their clothes out. They set how they're gonna dress for the next week or two. They also exercise. It says that they also they have their day planned out so that there are no indecisiveness when they wake up. They're not pondering, oh, should I do this or should I speak to them? No, they have that already planned out. So just imagine this. Your day is already planned out. You're not sitting pondering, should I do this or should I do that? That when you start multiplying minutes in your day where you're not organized and you're pondering on which direction you're going to do, who you're going to speak to, which investments you're going to do. By the way, they utilize approximately 20% of their income as investment. That's money that's going to make money for them. Okay. And they also mentioned about how the poor have a tendency. This is what they call the poor. I'm going to put my fingers up in quotes of what poor is. We kind of like know who and what they're referring to when they say that. However, they say the poor drink more often. they consume more alcohol. Now, Brother Jahi mentioned, and I'm gonna wrap this up in just a second. Brother Jahi mentioned that if we could save 5 cents a day, that's $291,200,000 a year. Each one of us saving 5 cents a day. That is possibly, say you just drink one beer or one alcoholic beverage less, or one soda pop less. We can meet that goal in no time. What do you say? Because the rich ain't drinking like they say the poor is drinking. That's food for thought right there. So those are a few things I want to share with you. What they say that the rich does, I am in 100% agreement with some of those things, and I'd like to add a couple more if I could to that list. One of them is prayer. They do say also that the rich meditate, and they get answers during that time of meditation. They go to that place of quietness and get answers. I say pray to he, she, them, they, whoever that is. In the Nation of Islam, we pray to Allah, but whoever that is in your life, spend some moments down on your prayer rug, on your knees, wherever you need to go, in nature, wherever you need to go, in solitude, and reflect on choices that have been made that have benefited you and that has allowed you to grow and excel. Duplicate that. That's the one that I want to say about add to this list. That whatever has made you successful in your life, duplicate that. Build upon that. Don't throw it away. Don't forget how you got to where you got to. Don't forget how you came through what you came through. And don't use prayer, meditation, just because of an emergency. Make it a natural part of in my everyday life. So that's what I wanted to share. Oh, the women's retreat. Remember, we've been talking about that the last couple of weeks. The day has changed to May the 8th through the 10th of 2020. Make sure you update your calendar. The web page will be opening. We'll have a few seats left that we're going to open up to the public, because those that we do know and who's excited about it and has been saying, okay, when is it coming? When is it coming? They have been registering. So we will open it up to the public the end of August for whatever seats that we have left. You do not want to miss this event. Make sure you text I'm in to 770-906-6193. You can go to the Facebook page at Soul Wisdom INTL and get more information about that. I'm so looking forward to that. I want to see you there. All right. So that's all it is from my neck of the woods. I'm going to bring up the mind behind Mind Money Matters radio show. She's the tech savvy. She's got that beautiful background.
They can't see me.
They can't see. Okay. Well, when you start talking, they'll see
they
it.
only can see me if I start talking.
Mm-hmm. So as she starts talking, you'll see what she talked just a moment ago. You saw that beautiful yellow. Oh, I think she's brightened that color for me. That is gorgeous. Thank you so much, Sister Sharien. She just brings a smile to my face. You say that I bring the energy. The stuff, the things that Sister Sharien does are just so beautiful. It speaks volumes. It brings energy. She's done work for many, many people. And if there is something that you need for her to design, today is the first day of school, so don't bombard her right now, but reach out to our sister. You got our links, you got our Facebook page, My Money Matters Radio. You have our information, My Money Matters, My Money Show at gmail.com. Send her an email and let her design some beautiful cards for you, some beautiful flyers for you. This is what comes to her naturally. This is, I pray, will be one of the things that's going to allow her to steal away. Okay, I'm not the singer on the show. However, she is the mind behind Agrichild. She's a published author. She travels as often as she can to share with our beloved children the wonders of farming, the wonders of reading, the wonders of how life grows. So we want you to welcome our beloved sister, our co-host, co-partner with Master the Science of Business, our beloved sister Sharien Muhammad.
Praise be to Allah. I'm not going to be long. I don't know if I didn't hear this, Sister Sandy, but you may have said this. Thank you so much for that introduction. But you may have said that leaders read. Did you is that on that list?
Thank you so much. Yes, let me add that. So
Okay.
it said that the average reader reads one book a year. The rich and successful reads approximately 10 books a year on business and wealth
That's
growing.
approximately a book a month. And
Yes.
that's on average. So
Yes, that's
many
just
of them
average.
read more than that.
Yes,
And
yes.
they're constantly reading and researching and implementing and changing and adapting and evaluating, which is a constant. We talk about the concretization of any vision that you may have, and to concretize, as I heard the word only from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in Belief in Allah in his 1994 lecture, Belief in Allah, where he says to us about concretizing our vision, thinking on the thought. You have a thought. We have, we're taught that thought travels on average 24 billion miles per second. And so we're constantly receiving thoughts. As I'm speaking, I'm thinking, and you're listening, you're thinking. But then there's that thought that just it's repetitive. It keeps coming up. It was coming up for you as a child. It came up for you as an adolescent. It's coming up for you as a young adult. It's coming up for you wherever you are in life. And it's like, man, I need to make this real. And so when you start to act on that, what he says to do is first write it down. So as you write it down, you take a note that, okay, this is what I'm going to pay some attention to. There's something about using your hand to write, that bodily kinesthetic, impression that is being made on your mind and your heart as you write. And then when you write it down, you begin to develop a plan, a method, and a program. And at that point, you now have transferred your thought into an idea. So now you have an idea, it is written down, and you develop this plan, this method, and this program to concretize the vision, making it something that you can touch and feel. So that I would add to that list of what the wealthy or successful do.
Absolutely. That's beautiful,
Make sure
Sister
that their
Sharien, for
lives are
pointing
there.
that
So
out.
now
Yes.
that their lives are actually materializing what they will. Now, I am ready to get into the guests. We have some exciting business owners that are coming on to share with us the wisdom that they have acquired through practice and that they are in the process of acquiring, because we know we don't stop learning until there's a period at the end of our name. And there's not a period at the end of our name until that heartbeat is no longer beating. So we are always learning. However, as we engage in endeavors that perhaps others have not yet had an opportunity to engage in, we're learning things that we can share. And so this is what makes our show so popular, and that we stay inshallah, we stay active and engaged in bringing to you this information. Brother Jahi, are you ready to bring up our first guest?
We have our special guest co-host. Is he available?
I don't see him.
All right. So we will bring up our first guest,
Brother
who is
Anthony is on.
okay. Got it. Got it. We bringing him right on in. I'm very elated because he doesn't remember this, but I remember him from when he was probably 5, 6 years old.
He was knee high to a grasshopper.
He was like 3 apples tall. He was about 3 apples high. And to see him, the progress that he's made, growing up to be a young man and coming into his own, accepting his own and being himself has been absolutely fantastic. Although I did meet him first when he was a very young little boy and didn't realize that was him until a few years later when he came into the ranks of the Nation of Islam. Like, hey, I remember you. So now we have him on the show during this month of dedicated to the Ministry of Science and Technology. We have Brother Anthony Muhammad. Brother Anthony started his scientific journey at Sanford Brown College as a medical assistant in New York City with the aspirations of medical school. He believed that this path would get him recognition within the field of medicine. A noble path, but he says a very premature vision. What did he know about that? But he eventually moved back to Atlanta with a strong desire to achieve financial success. So he put his medical school goals on the back burner just temporarily. And he became a massage therapist, and he built a very thriving practice as a massage therapist. Then I guess that bug hit him again. At some point, it hit him again. So he decided to recommit to his medical school journey after working with people and seeing that, okay, that there's a need. So he decided to enroll in Georgia Perimeter College. And then he wound up going to Atlanta Technical College. And from Atlanta Tech, he landed an internship with Georgia Institute of Technology, the premier technology school, engineering school in the South, and one of the tops in the world. But he wound up securing an internship at Georgia Tech in the bioengineering department, and he made history. He was the first student from Atlanta Tech to do so. And so there, while at Georgia Tech, he got a chance to participate in significant research in cell therapy, meeting movers and shakers and powers that be in the medical field. Now that has opened up the doors for other Atlanta Tech students to follow suit and pursue those dreams and aspirations. Even if they didn't have them, now they know that there's things that they can do. Brother Anthony has presented his research at conferences in different states, as well as locally here in Atlanta at the Atlanta Science Festival. And by his internship, he has gained a lot of different skills, in addition to meeting those powerful people in the medical profession. And he is continuing his journey to becoming a physician while also going into deeper research with skills such as SolidWorks, laser cutting, 3D printing, CNC milling, cell culture, statistical analysis, staining, and fluorescent microscopy. Now, of all of those, the only thing I know about is statistical analysis. But here for the first time and hopefully not the last time on Mind and Money Matters live show, please help us to welcome Brother Anthony Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam.
Hey,
Uh,
before you get started, Brother Anthony, now you know I got to say something about you. My God, Brother Anthony. Oh wow, Brother Anthony, from a holistic standpoint, and I hope you don't mind me sharing, Brother
No,
Anthony.
ma'am.
Yeah, okay, I was about to say, tell me to be quiet whenever you want me to be. This brother is a very loving brother. A brother who's in tune. You know, you meet people sometimes that you know is something special about them. From the very first moment that I met Brother Anthony, I knew there was something very special about him. And we began to talk about holistic healing and meditation, kind of like some of those things that we were talking about when we first started, Sister Sharien and Brother Jahi, on what it takes to be a successful, wealthy person. Brother Anthony is already on that. And he's a young man. And to have those types of tools available and willing to use those types of tools, I just think that, I mean, I was just blown away. So we instantly connected. I'm so grateful that you are on the show with us today, Brother Anthony. And one little thing I didn't hear in your bio, are you also in the music industry? Don't you do stuff with music?
Yes, ma'am.
I thought so. I thought so. So Brother Anthony has several talents underneath his belt, in addition to which I am very eager to hear about, fluorescent microscoping. Welcome, Brother Anthony.
It's a pleasure.
Wow, fluorescent microscoping. What is that?
It's basically where we stain our cells, and we use machines where we can actually see our cells. Because through a microscope, cells actually have no color, so you can't actually see different parts of the cell. But we can stain them, use specific technologies, different machines, and we can actually see inside of our cells.
Wow.
Can
Like
I
when
ask
you
some?
say actually see, how do we see it? Is it like, you know, sometimes you see these images. Well, now they have actually gotten much better. But you know, the early images of what are they called? Sonograms.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, this is the baby. And I'm like, well, where? It's so difficult to actually make it out. Now, nowadays, those pictures look like you know, like they look like they're outside the body almost. So what does that imaging look like?
So for cells, some of the imaging gives you an idea of what, for example, a neuron gives you an example of what that actually looks like. Because most people imagine a neuron, brain cells. You really don't know what that looks like until you see it in the image, and you can see where the nucleus is, et cetera, et cetera. In other cells, you may be able to see, for example, if you're looking for, or you're trying to locate where the DNA is, different techniques allow you to stain and actually see where the DNA in a cell is located.
Wow.
So it's not the type of image where, like on a cartoon, you may see it's not that in depth.
Okay.
Sister Sharien,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
got I have a quick question.
No, go ahead.
I'm really excited about this because I did not know Brother Anthony was working with this. So I want to take it into an area that might include quantum physics, because as I'm listening to you talk about how the cells actually have no color and you can stain them, which takes on a coloring of whatever you're needing to utilize to identify aspects of it. Are you familiar with oh goodness, the gentleman who did the testing with water and crystals in the water? Japanese guy. Oh goodness.
Master Emoto.
Yes, 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 yes. Master Emoto. I forget his first name. Are you familiar with him, Brother Anthony?
No, ma'am.
Huh. Okay. That might be something you might just want to take a peek at. And the reason that I'm asking about that is because when you look at cells under a microscope, depending upon the music or whatever is going around or happening in the environment of the cell, I would imagine you can tell whether the cell has been through trauma or whether have you experienced anything like that?
Yes, ma'am. For example, if we were culturing our cells, some of the cells may actually die during the process. And for example, if we were to, like, there are instances where we want to keep our cells for a period of time, we would freeze them. And after freezing them, they have to be thawed before we can utilize them for any type of experiments. And that process can stress out our cells and cause them to actually die just from the heating and the thawing. They actually die, and you can see cells that are actually getting ready to die.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then one more thing, because I don't want to go too deep in just this first conversation, but this is opening up so much in my mind when we're talking about this. So now when we begin to talk about people of color and any trauma or what have you that they've been through, is it possible to regenerate the cells? So, or even in that disease that we call cancer, that is a ferocious eater up of the cells, right? And it's like they're not able to regenerate, and it just metastasize. Is have you found scientifically as you look at cells? Let me ask you this: are you familiar how frequently cells regenerate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, could you share that with us and then share with us why is it not possible for cancer to be cured in an instant if new cells are being generated at such a rapid pace? You understand my question?
Could you say the question again?
Yes, sir. So, if you could share with us how frequently, how fast do cells regenerate themselves or die off and then new cells come in? That's the first part of the question. The second part of the question is, if in fact we are regenerating cells at such a rapid pace, why is it that cancer stays in the body on a cellular level when new cells are coming in that may not even know anything about the existing cancer?
Okay. So for your first question, that's not such an easy question to answer, just because there are different types of cells in the body, and each cell has different characteristics. But for the second part of your question, cancer is a disease that's more like a, how can I say, like a rogue cell. It's like a cell that went bad, or the analogy of the rotten apple, and it can spoil the other fruits around it. So cancer is like that cell that's like something happened. It could be like, how do you say? It could be radiation that caused that cell to just go bad. And what it does, it's like a disease that infects other cells and causes other cells to basically take on that same mentality. So for us in the nation, it could be like one we would call a hypocrite. They would speak to others and cause the others to believe in their way. So
Excellent.
it's like it spreads so fast. It hijacks different systems in the body, and again, it, like you said, it metastasizes in different directions in different areas of the body, and they're not easily detectable. Like like we don't know who's a hypocrite in the mosque. We don't know that, and they can travel from state to state, infecting different people, and we don't know where they went to. That's how cancer is. So even though cells, they regenerate at such a rapid pace, depending on what cell it is, it's hard to keep track of that specific cancer cell that affected another cell. Now that infected cell infects another cell. Then they've went from possibly skin cancer. Now it's breast cancer, then bone cancer. So it's hard to track it in that way.
Okay, then the last thing, and I'm gonna leave this alone because I am enjoying this, like really enjoying this conversation. The last thing that I'd like for you to share with us, when you're looking at the cells and you can tell when cells have been traumatized, and you can actually see when the cells are dying off, that is just like amazing to me. What is it that we can do as a people of color, people that have experienced so much generationally? What is it that we can do to lessen the impact or to lessen the susceptibility of disease while looking at the cells?
So I can say one of the biggest things that that I would believe, and most, well, I can't say most, maybe some medical doctors who do research outside of what they were taught could agree that diet plays a big role in the health of our body. For example, our cells could be stressed out for giving it the wrong media or the wrong nutrients. And just that alone could cause some cells to die. You give the wrong food to a specific individual. For example, we shouldn't eat the same thing a monkey eats. And that could cause health problems in us. So really, as a community, we really have to focus on our diet. That diet is like, depending on what we intake, it feeds our cells. It gives our cells life. They're able to regenerate faster. Stressing the cells out is just a matter of what are you feeding? What are you putting into your body?
Wow. Thank you so much. I am going to yield the rest of this time over to my co-host.
I think, look, I was enjoying your line of questioning.
Praise be to Allah.
I was engaged in a conversation recently about cancer. And when you first asked the first part of the question, my first thought as a layman, right, as he said that this was a difficult question to answer, I'm thinking, okay, I would think that there are some cells that rejuvenate and there are some cells that don't rejuvenate, right? So I know I heard about certain brain cells that, once they're canceled out, that's it. So those who participate in
recreational,
certain no, you're right. I was gonna say, right, I'm trying to say it in a nice way, right? And recreational
activities,
it's intoxicants, right? And then it is killing brain cells. Those brain cells don't come back. And so you could be very intelligent one day and find yourself a babbling idiot the next day, because now you have damaged your brain cells. So that was the first thought that came to mind when you asked that question. And then with the second part dealing with cancer, I was thinking, man, this cancer thing, from what I understand, it mimics healthy cells. Is that right?
In a way, I guess you could use that.
Where it makes the body think, because the body is designed to heal itself. Mm-hmm. Right. So I'm thinking the way that this can, and I only have a very surface, like I'm like like I'm not even the first layer. I'm the air on top of the skin, right? But I'm thinking
that's all right. This is where we come to learn, Sister Sharien. This is where we come to learn.
If it's mimicking healthy cells, and the body is designed to cure itself, to heal itself, then the body doesn't know to attack this thing that's mimicking something that's healthy. That just sounds like, logic to me. So I'm using logic to deduce from that.
Yes, ma'am. So in a way it does. There are certain pathways that they hijack, like cancer cells, they hijack and they take nutrients. So in a way that they are like healthy cells. It kind of goes back to the analogy I use. It's hard to determine who's a hypocrite and who's not. So in a way they are.
So it's like the wheat and the tear growing up together.
Yes, ma'am. And at a certain point, oh, okay, I see what that is.
Oh, got it. And so by the time it notices what it is, it has gained such strength.
And it's already changed so many other cells by that time.
So so you using the term hijacking, but it's actually turning good cells into itself.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Yes, interesting. Our other guest is on, Brother Jahi. If you are ready to bring him in, but my goodness, because he's in STEM. And so I'm looking forward to bringing the both of you into this conversation, because I mean, the science of the body, science, period, it needs to be our focus. And so for us to be able to understand the value of science, the value of getting involved in it, typically we ask questions like, what was your motivation? And we do want to know that, what attracted you to this, but your bio was so thorough and giving us some ideas in terms of how you went from one thought process to the next set of actions to another thought leading to a next set of actions to where you are now, so that's the reason why we didn't ask that. But it's still, I think I still would like to know before we bring our brother on, in terms of the business of science, because a lot of, I find our students, they may have been passionate about science growing up, and then at some point they became afraid of it. And I know what happened to me when I was growing up, when I was about to take physics. I heard someone said to me, I didn't overhear it. He actually was speaking directly to me. Like, you gonna take physics? Like, that is hard. So now I'm petrified. I didn't have anyone in my family that had ever done it. I had no idea what it was, but I was excited about doing it because I thought, okay, this is something that Black people are not doing, that we need more physicists, we need more engineers, we need more scientists, right? So as a young person, I was excited to do it, but I was discouraged by the comment of how difficult it was. So did you run into any of that? Did you have to meet and overcome the common fears that young people may have about science?
Absolutely. But when I was growing up and I was younger, I actually didn't believe that I was smart enough to actually even go that far. I am the first person in my family on the male side to actually even attempt to go this route. I think it's how the information is usually presented to us. I noticed at Georgia Tech, it's predominantly Caucasian, it's Asians, it's everybody there, and the science and engineering fields, and Black men actually are one of the least numbers. The information is presented to us in a way that's like, you can't do it. But at Georgia Tech, a lot of the students have this mentality where just being in the lab, working with some of them, they have this mentality like, oh, this is new, let me figure it out. Like they had me learning computer programs like SolidWorks. It's 3D printing, and I had to learn that within a week. You know, when I first approached it, to me, it was like, oh my God, I need to leave. But they were like, you know, look, just figure it out. And they have this different approach. And for us, really, we could really take what the Honorable Minister Farrakhan told us and to look at it and not like I'm studying physics, but I am physics. I am biology. I am chemistry. That changes like the whole perspective on how you even pick up the book.
Wow.
Brother Anthony, are you able to?
I'm thinking about the importance of having our own education system, because, you know, the way we teach our babies, you know, even us rearing our own children, not submitting ourselves to the complete re-education that is necessary, you know, to come out of a mindset of let me hold this person back. Let me make sure you don't achieve. Let me make sure you stay in this box, do these things, you know, when you have to come out of that conditioning over a 400-year period of time and counting, where we're taught to be a certain way. They're saying my internet is unstable. I don't know. Am I coming through clear?
You're coming through clear. But I need to, Brother Anthony, are you able to stick around for a little bit longer?
We can't see you, Brother Jahi.
I know. I got to read the bio, and I can't watch. I can't do that. Do both at the same time. I understand. And I want to get my brother Ron into this conversation because he has a short window of time to be with us. So I want to get him in here. And I'm honored because I've heard of the brother for years. And when I wanted someone with expertise in science and technology, so I hit up my comrades who know these types of things. His name kept coming back. We had one of his colleagues on the show with us last month, Queen Thais, and I think she was promoting his events. But we're honored to have Brother Ron Thomas, who is a 20-year veteran in the teaching world of STEAM. That's science, technology, engineering, arts, and what's the M? Mathematics. How can I forget mathematics?
He's a mathematician and he don't know the M. Okay.
He is an enthusiastic and passionate technology educator with a solid commitment to the social, academic, and developmental growth of every student. His life's mission has become to provide students with a positive interaction in STEAM, so that they grow to be confident and competent. That's an awesome combination. Competent and confident. Through his passion for STEM, Brother Ronnie has had great success at increasing teacher efficacy and student engagement. Now, you know this brother is very well educated to use a word like efficacy in his bio. He is the founder of Georgia Science and Robotics Academy, INC, which is a 501c3. So that means that you can make a contribution to this dynamic organization and get a tax write-off. And fund Wierd Science. As a matter of fact, he has a very engaging video on YouTube about how he's fun-loving, weird, and he loves science. So please welcome. Oh, and he's married with 3 children. Please welcome to the Mind and Money Matters live show during the month of science and technology. That I'm gonna start calling him that science guy, Brother Ronnie Thomas. Welcome to Mind and Money Matters live show.
Peace, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing amazingly well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your super busy schedule to carve out that time for us. We know how challenging that could be, and I really appreciate it.
It's an honor, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, how did you get it? What made you decide after 20 years of being in the classroom that you were going to do this science thing like full time and take children all over the country to look
Yeah.
at and to study automation, robotics, and all of that good stuff.
Yes, sir. So, like you mentioned earlier, I have been teaching school for 20 years, had reached a point of, kind of frustrated with the complacency of education and wanted to go out of the country and teach, but my wife wasn't quite ready. So I had always been doing my business while teaching, but not
Okay.
really able to give it my full effort. So the other alternative to going out of the country was to leave the school and pursue my passion full time. So
Wow, that's a big leap.
so she supported that decision, and we've taken the leap.
Wonderful, wonderful. So the Georgia Science
Georgia Science and Robotics Academy.
and Robotics Academy. What do you do?
So through both of those entities, like you said, like you mentioned earlier, our goal is to provide children, and especially children of color, our children, with a positive interaction in science and STEM early, so they can grow up and be confident and competent. Throughout my teaching career, I would encounter many students that look like me, that when asked them what a scientist was, many of them would look outside of themselves for a depiction of what a scientist was. And it would oftentimes end up being an
Hmm.
older white guy with crazy looking hair. So, my mission became to also make that ancestral connection to them, to remind them that they come from a people that invented math and science and writing and did astrology
Right.
at a very high level.
Wonderful. Did you hear a comment that Brother Anthony made a few moments ago when he talked about being at Georgia Tech and around those students where the mindset of we gonna figure this out, that's the
Yes.
mindset. So he said you even approach opening the book
Yeah.
differently. And I love that. We had two guests, and they'll be on later on this month, that we had on last year, two young brothers that I had the honor of meeting when I used to do programs at Georgia Tech years ago, and they're
Hmm.
both engineers. We had them on as guests last year, and they alluded to something similar. And their challenge, their thing was they went to Morehouse. They did the 3-2 program with
Hmm.
Morehouse and Georgia Tech. So they came in with some semblance of, knowledge of self, if you will. But they
Hmm.
say even in that environment, the thing that they hung on to was, look, I can't fail. I have to do this. So
Hmm.
are you
Indeed.
seeing that type of zealousness as well with our students, that even though it's challenging based upon our background, but we're like, okay, they're not gonna see me fail. I gotta represent for the community.
So
So do you see that
my
with your students
biggest
as well?
so perseverance is one of the words that we constantly remind our children of, and making that connection to our past story and how we've persevered and overcome many attempts to eradicate us as a people. And we've still found a way, despite lack of resources, despite these
Right.
laws, despite lack of resources and things of that nature, we still have found a way to push through. So, my biggest I have not yet to see that as much as I hope to see it or will see it. My biggest, the elephant in the room for me
Okay.
is just getting our kids to realize it's cool to be smart, because somewhere along the line, some of us, too many of our kids have adopted the idea that it's not cool or it's lame to be smart. So I think that's
Wow.
one for me at the level that I work at, is just trying to break down that idea that being smart is really the cool guy.
Right. Where did that come from?
Like you mentioned earlier, having that
Yes.
need for
Wonderful.
us to be able to
Wonderful.
teach and speak for ourselves. But when we have, as Brother Chica, of course, says, like, when someone else defines our narrative and they give us a depiction of who we are,
Mhm.
then, if we're not properly educated to be able to make our own narrative, then we would sometimes subscribe to that. And I think that's what has happened over time, that we
Right.
bought into the
Right.
wrong narrative of who we are.
And I think even with
Right. And we
the trickle
go
down
ahead.
effect of thinking that it's not cool to be smart is the way we treat one another.
Yes.
So the smart guy is the last guy to get the attention.
Yeah.
The guy that's getting all the attention is the guy that's doing the things that is going to ensure that he not be around in 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just is. But however, those who are giving him that attention don't realize that 10 years from now, that person not going to be there. So as an adult, you're saying, okay, you're trying to encourage them to partake in activities that at least increases their chances of being around 10, 20, 30 and beyond years from now. So what have you done that you found effective?
So the biggest success I have experienced as an educator is being able to reach that population of students, mainly boys of color, that, you know, many in the school system would give up on. But when we have been able to isolate those boys and give them an environment, you know, filled with love and nurturing and support, and giving them a chance to do science with their hands on, I think the way that we fail many of our children in our schools, they don't get a chance to do science. They read about it, and it doesn't make any sense, doesn't make any connection to them or any relevance.
They can't touch it. They don't have right.
Exactly. And boy brains function totally different. So they, you know, they have to have their hands on it and, you know, to do it. So I remember one year we at a elementary school, I won't name, not for any particular reason in person, but there was a large number of Black boys getting a award just for coming to school. And, you know, their parents, like mom would have 1,000 balloons in the back. He's dressed up and she's making the most noise as if he scored, you know, like he's made all A's the whole year. And that certificate just meant that he came to school. So, you know, from that, I wanted to create something that they could have a greater participation and success in. So we made a rocket club for a group of boys that, you know, many would call problem students, but we were able to see them in increasing their engagement in class and in their behavior because they really look forward to being in that club to build rockets.
That's so wonderful. That's so wonderful, Brother Ron, because Brother Anthony mentioned something about actually how he was and is able to really grasp what he's learning is be the biology, be whatever it is that you're studying in, whatever it is. So Brother Anthony, jump on in at any point in time to help shed a little bit more light from the perspective of what you're experiencing now, as Brother Ron is sharing with us on the techniques that he's utilizing. You can amen that yes, that is in fact working, because you yourself are utilizing that same thought process.
Or you experienced that growing up, you know, since you're closer to that age. We know you've grown now, but you're closer to the age of being able to, you know, like I graduated high school in 1982. So even I could reach all the way back there and remember what it was like. But for you to help us who are educating young people, to be able to inspire them towards the sciences and to see the value in that. So we just want you to participate. But there was something that I wanted to bring up when you talking, Brother Ron, is that and my uncle, I had an uncle named Ronnie, or Ronald, we called him Ronnie. So when I heard your name Ronnie, I just thought of him. But anyways, I was thinking about the difficulty in even persuading parents.
Yes.
So I remember when I first got involved in education, as a professional, I became a professional educator in 97. And I had the opportunity to work or shadow in another community counseling program. And the parents in that community donated $100 a piece to go towards their science program. Wow. So this was back in the 90s, you know, late 90s. They each donated $100. Now, granted, they have a much higher income, but they also have a higher awareness of what's important and how to make sure that their children get the benefit. Asking our parents to donate anything. The expectation is public school is free. They don't realize that some of the things that are afforded to other children in other communities is because their parents actually participate and make up the difference from the public funding to ensure that their children get, like you said, the opportunity to have the hands-on experience in labs. Have you, is that an experience that still continues today?
Oh yeah, it is. You know, I think it goes back to mindset, because I think about my granddad who worked in like a steel mill, and he sent I think about 4 or 5 of his 7 children to college, you know, on a very you know, small income, but it was, you know, how they utilize those resources. Today, our parents will too many of our parents will invest in little league sports, and these things have their value and their place too. But I think they overly in value in sports and in high price sneakers and video games and things that give us a short return on our investment. But these experiences, especially through STEM, they have lifelong implications. So I think it's just a matter of us getting back to that mindset and having that paradigm shift that we realize the value in education.
Well, hopefully this conversation helps. We're just trying to help.
Yeah. I hope so.
Us, you know? Because it's not that we don't have. I mean, we spend upwards, you know, $2,000 on cheerleading garments and dance garments and shoes and hair bows. And I'm like, really?
And those things have their proper place. And I'm not denying those things. But I think that we have done a really good job as a people in entertainment and in sports. And I think it's time to get our kids back to thinking and seeing themselves as being, you know, building pyramids and getting the skills that they need to solve the problems in our community, because nobody's coming to help us. Like, we are the help that we're waiting for. So whether it be, you know, kids that go on to pursue career paths in medicine or in economics, like, you know, we need you to go out here and get these skills and bring them back home to help us solve these problems and build a stronger.
I know Sister Anissa got that one. We are the help that we are waiting for.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Brother Anthony, what do you think we can do to help encourage more participation in the areas of STEM?
I definitely want to agree with Brother Ron. Really, like, actually, those of us who are involved in STEM, like, actually putting our hand forth and participate and showing the skills that we have and helping to, like you said, encourage, especially like our Black males, because they're so into sports and entertainment. And just for them to see things like how to build a rocket, I mean, that's exciting to me. So just being able to participate with them is very important, I would say.
Indeed.
And how lucrative is the field of STEM?
Yeah, it's very lucrative. If you go to sciencebuddies.org, and there's a section on there that says,
I'm sorry?
Sciencebuddies.org.
Science Buddies, okay.
There's a section on there that says careers in science, and it breaks down many of the career fields in different areas of STEM. And it shows you the growth rate for that career. And it also shows you how much you can expect to earn compared to the median income of the US and the what they call it, minimum wage income. So it shows you in a bar graph. So you can see the big difference in the bar graph for that career path compared to those other two income groups.
That's sciencebuddies.com, y'all.
Sciencebuddies.org.
.org.
Yes, ma'am.
Sciencebuddies.org.
And then look under the section that says careers in science.
Yes. Because a lot of us are motivated by money. So we say, at least in the beginning, right? You like, oh, I can make money playing basketball.
Yeah. Because, you know, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but, in order to survive, we need, food, water, and shelter. And those things cost. And, we need, to have an income that will allow us a life of comfort and a life of service. Like, not just to get the money to show how many material things you can acquire, but what can you do to help bless other people and to help, build our community stronger.
Excellent, excellent. Any burning questions, Brother Jahi, Sister Sandy?
Absolutely.
I'm an educator, so I could go all day. I'll be like, this is my area of convincing, as a counselor,
Yes.
inspiring and motivating and pulling out. So I could be all day on this interview and give my colleagues a chance to get in there. Brother Jahi.
You done? Every time I start talking, you got something else to say. You done? Brother Ron, how do we get in contact with you?
So my website is funwierdscience.com. That's funwierdscience.com. We're also on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Wierd Science.
All right, and your program, is it an after-school program? Is it a daily program?
Mm-hmm. So
how does it operate?
Yep, that's a great question. So we have a couple different engagements that we provide. We do an online class where we ship the materials to the children at home, and then we meet virtually. And then here in the Metro Atlanta area, we do a Saturday program, and we have summer camp. So we normally would do our camps on the campus of Morehouse College. Due to construction this past summer, they were unable to accommodate us. So we're still working on securing a location and also flirting with the idea of getting our own space. So if anyone out there in the listening community has any recommendations on that or that can help with that, please give us a contact and reach out to us. But we like to do our programs on college campuses, especially campuses like Morehouse, so our kids can visualize themselves in that space. We have done things over at Tech also. One of our contributing partners, my cousin, he's also a graduate of Georgia Tech. And I like to use him as my poster kid to show kids you can go through public school and you have a much greater chance of being someone like this than you do compared to someone like LeBron James.
Excellent point. So what are the specs that you need so that those that are listening or will be listening to the program, we can keep our eyes and ears out open?
Yeah, we ultimately want to have our own building in the future, and and still provide our mobile and online programs, but more immediately, a space that we can use on a consistent basis. He who bends will not break, so we're flexible and willing to work.
All right, repeat that one. Repeat that one. What you say?
He who bends will not break. So we don't have a set square foot that we require. If there's a space available, there's some flexibility where we could possibly work with that as well.
All right, fantastic. And give us those that contact information one more time, because I'm sure somebody's listening.
Fun Wierd Science. That's WEIRD. Funwierdscience.com is our website, and our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is at Fun Wierd Science. We also have a YouTube page called Fun Wierd Science TV.
Oh, okay. On YouTube, Fun Wierd Science
TV.
Okay, fantastic. And Brother Anthony, your contact information for those who would like to get in contact with you. Do you still have your massage therapy business?
I actually don't. I closed that aspect just to continue on in school.
Okay. But the information that you've been given, we really thank you, especially for those young people who may have started out on a particular path and then got distracted, sidetracked, whatever the situation may be, but looking for that guidance. I think you would be a great person for them to talk to help get them back on track. So how can one get in contact with you?
The best way to get in contact with me is easily through email. That is Anthony Muhammad, MUHAMMAD 2044 @gmail.com.
Fantastic. And for both of you, Sister Sharien or Sister Sandy will close us out. I got to get out of here. Last words of encouragement for those that are listening. You got somebody that's out there that's on the ropes, about making a decision in life, any last word, any words of encouragement?
I would just say go with your passion. We only live life, and the last thing that we want to do is to be on our deathbed or our place of our last moments and have regrets about not utilizing the gifts that the Most High has given us.
All right, thank you for that.
Brother Anthony, can you repeat your email address, please?
That's Anthony Muhammad, MUHMMAD 2044 @gmail.com.
No A?
I heard that.
No.
but
It's just the
Jahi
2044 is what I had missed.
Right, no, yeah, I didn't hear A.
Yeah, the spelling of Muhammad.
He did the first time he spelled MUHAMMAD.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right up on the screen if anybody needs to know the proper way to spell it. Okay, so hold on, Brother Jahi, before you leave. All right, Brother Ron, you've been knowing Brother Jahi for a little while, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, give us some interesting facts that you know about Brother Jahi.
I know that wherever there's an event or a situation that is related to our people, Brother Jahi was in the building.
Yes, sir. We call him the human GPS, indeed. Indeed. Good deal, good deal. I have tremendously enjoyed you all.
I will send you a cash app.
He kept it clean, Brother Jahi. He kept it clean. I tremendously enjoyed you all. I mean, I hope that Brother Jahi will be able to extend the invitation of you all to please come back. We opened the doors of a few different categories, and we can go a little bit more in depth. Please consider coming back to Mind Money Matters show to expand and update us with the phenomenal things that you are doing. And I hear some babies in the background too, so I'm just excited. I'm just excited that of what you all are doing. You all are strong Black men. Keep doing it, building your family, building your businesses. And that's what it's all about. That is how we shift the paradigm of where we've come from to where we're going. Thank you all so much.
Now, how much time do you have in school, Brother Anthony?
Well, I'm planning on, my goal is to be accepted into medical school next year, starting fall. That's the goal. I've already started my application. Hopefully I'll be taking the MCAT this fall, hopefully. And I plan to start next year.
And what do you plan on studying?
I'm kind of in between whether it's going to be pediatrics or neurosurgery.
Woo! Both are exciting. Yes, neurosurgery. I like.
Make sure you keep me updated with the neurosurgery, Brother Anthony, because Samaya, my baby girl, that's something that she's interested in. So please keep me updated with that one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Of course.
Excellent, exciting. Well, you have met a STEM teacher, and Brother Ronnie, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind you reaching out to him for support and guidance. And that's one of the things that we like to do on Mind and Money Matters live show is make those connections. And so I would like to know how the relationship forms and how it builds.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Have a great day, everybody.
All right. Alaikum, peace and love.
Alaikum salam, peace and love.